This is the KoperCrabb podcast.
I'm Chaney Crabb.
Navene Koperweis coming at you. Let me make sure everything's working out here. All right, good to go.
What's up, guys? Spoiler alert, we did not pick out our top whatever death metal albums yet. Honestly, it's something that I think, because we're both so into metal, that we need more than a week to come up with this.
It's going to take some time.
That's a hard one.
We do want to do that episode, though.
We are going to do it, for sure.
Do want to do it.
Happy Wednesday, guys.
Happy Wednesday. I was just thinking, I used to be like kind of nervous when we started the podcast because I like wanted to make sure it was a good show or whatever.
Yeah.
But now it's like, don't listen to it if you don't like it.
Yeah, we're kind of in the groove. Now it used to be, I used to feel kind of stressed and anxious about making an episode as well.
Like, oh God, what are we going to talk about?
Yeah. Are we going to have enough things to talk about?
Yeah. Now I'm just like, I don't know. Let's hit record and figure it out.
And it always ends up going pretty well, I think.
And hopefully there's a couple nuggets of wisdom in there. Usable stuff.
Yeah, maybe.
For band people. That's what we're trying to do, though, ultimately, right? Help out the underground metal community.
Yeah, I think that there are a lot of things in playing music that a lot of people don't talk about or aren't necessarily, maybe don't even just have the platform to talk about it. Because a lot of the time when you hear from people who do what we do, it's just in an interview or quickly about whatever music they just put out. And
or what they want to post on Instagram.
Yeah, exactly. And this is more of a long format thing, and we can kind of share. We want to share stuff.
It gets real over here.
Yeah, so
it gets real. We're talking about the underside, if you will. It's not very glamorous, to be real with you.
Well, I think that there are glamorous and non-glamorous aspects to everything.
Yeah, very true.
There's good and bad with everything, and this is just like anything else. There's good and bad that comes along with it, but
yeah, it's very much just like one of those things. But I guess it depends on how much ownership you take of those things determines whether they're good or whether they're bad. Right?
What do you mean?
Well, so for instance, a lot of bands, ourselves included, I mean, it's taken us 5 years to figure some of this stuff out. You just sort of fall into what every other band does, like when it comes to touring, for instance. And it doesn't necessarily mean that's the smartest way to do it. It's just, that's just what you do, you know? And it's taken us up to this point to sort of figure out a different way of doing things, which I wanted to talk about today.
Yeah, I mean, everything is a learning process, and you start a band, you want to be on a label. At least I wanted to do the whole like band thing.
Yeah.
You want to get all of these things, and then you get to the other side of things and you realize that there are a lot of things to learn about how it all works, how the whole industry works before you can actually function in the industry. And I think that a lot of the time, because a lot of bands, when they're in bands and they start to get signed or go on national tours and international tours, like you, for instance, you started touring when you were 16 years old.
Yeah.
I think that you were lucky because in Animosity, from what you guys have said, Leo really knew what he was doing financially with the band.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
But not everyone is in that kind of position. Not everyone
Exactly.
has someone in their band who knows how to handle money, and people will come in and take money from you because people see young bands who want opportunities. And a lot of the time when you're hiring people, they work for like 20 different bands,
Yeah.
and they're trying to see what bands stick and what bands don't. And you can get like lost in the ocean of this whole business thing, and you can be paying your money out everywhere, and because you're young and you don't really know how to handle any of this shit, you can lose a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of my friends have to stop being in bands because they lost a ton of money.
Exactly.
They didn't know how to handle it.
So that's what I'm saying. The more of those small things you can learn about and start to control, the less that part of it sucks.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
So, and I don't think that anybody, well, for the most part, has it out to like get over on bands or whatever. It's just the way it's set up.
I mean, it's the way the world works as well.
Exactly.
Everyone needs to make a living, and for some people, it's working on that side of the music industry. And of course, you're going to try out a bunch of bands. You never really know what's going to hit or what you can make money off of. But it's kind of everyone's objective to live at least comfortably doing what they're doing.
Amen to that.
So
That's what we're trying to do.
yeah,
over here.
Exactly, which is what we want to do, which kind of brings us into what we wanted to talk about this week, which is...
So the reason why I was thinking of it this week is because Chaney has been hard at it selling. We had a huge merch sale. It did really well, and we were selling a bunch of merch, and then she made a post on the Entheos page about how we've taken the approach of like we're doing everything basically DIY ourselves and do it yourself ourselves.
Yeah, well, with that being said, we have a manager and we have a booking agent.
Yeah. So
it's not completely DIY. It's not like we're out here like fucking booking all of our own,
of course. I mean, you have to work with people,
but,
obviously.
Yeah.
But so, and I think she was just being sort of real with the post. Hey guys, thanks a lot for participating in this sale. This money is going towards funding our next release, which we're doing ourselves. And so before we even get to that, last year around this time, we had the idea of let's get out of borrowing money for merch, right? So that's a huge one. And a lot of people don't even think of this. I didn't really think of it until last year. That bands, you start a tour with a merch company if you're lucky enough to work with a company who will front you the merch, right? And you don't have to pay for it up front. So you start off your first day of tour with a merch bill. Could be however much money, thousands, depending on how big you are. Then some sort of payment for your van, right?
Probably also, along with the like cloth merch bill, you'll have, if you're signed to a label, you will probably owe them money on your CDs, vinyl,
Right.
whatever digital or whatever musical things they're fronting you.
Exactly. So you're starting off with you owe money on your music, you owe money on the merch, you owe money on the van, and you might owe money on a trailer. Okay. So we're starting off behind. So I sort of was thinking last year, what if we just kind of put in the sweat equity and didn't really take any money for like one whole tour? So we were always ahead a tour, right? So the goal is to be, what if we could start a tour with van paid for? So 0 rental cost, 0 finance cost. Trailer owned, no trailer fee. Merch, including the CDs and all that, paid for up front. So you start off your first day of tour, van full of merch, everybody's ready to go, Let's go out there and have some fun. Whatever money we get, we can set aside a little bit for the next tour and keep the rest. I mean, could you imagine that? How that feels? And I think people who play in bands, if they're hearing this, like, I mean, imagine that. That would be so sick. So the way that we're doing that is, like I said before, we're putting in that sweat equity. So it was last year we did a tour and we just paid for every little loose end we have. Because a lot of the times bands will go on tour, you'll sell X amount, and you'll have previous debts from the tour before that, right? So then you don't even have enough to cover what you just did. So you're in this perpetual state of debt. So we don't want to do that. So we decided to pay everything off. And then Chaney and I came home. We worked super hard, and we just paid the van off with our own money. Didn't have anything to do with the van. So now we're sitting at home, and there's no, monthly payments going out at all. So Chaney runs the merch store. She can sell the merch, and we just keep putting that back in. And so that will fund our next release, and then all the money from that can fund our next tour. And then when we go on tour, boom.
We are making all the money.
Making all the money. And not only that, it's not even about just the money. It's about being able to go on a tour and not have to think or worry about the money.
Yeah, which is insane.
I mean, that would just be so freaking awesome.
Yeah, because that is a constant thing. You're always
thinking, oh, God,
something.
we got this huge fucking payment. We got to drop all this money all the time. You're seeing all the money coming in, and you're just seeing it immediately go out.
Yeah.
And so the theory is like, let's just bite the bullet now. And then we always have this perpetual bank account. You're sort of like, we're our own lender almost.
Yeah. I mean, it was really hard to get to this point.
It really was.
We had to go for an entire tour, and it was a really long tour. I think it was 6 or 7 week long tour, and none of us got paid.
Exactly.
Just for the greater good.
Yeah, because we could see down the line, shit, maybe next year we'd go on tour, and it's a completely different story.
Yeah, a lot of these things take patience.
Yep.
It looks like the highest mountain in the world
It really
when
does.
you're sitting at the bottom of it. But once you get to the top, you feel like you just accomplished something really great, which I think that we did when we did that tour. It was hard. It's very hard to go on tour and not get paid. And I'm not saying that we're out here making a lot of money, but we have gone home from every tour before that and gotten paid, because it sucks to not be able to make money for that long. Point blank. And now it's like we can turn everything around, and I think that we will be able to get ourselves into this cycle where at least the art is paying for itself, and at least while we're touring, we can have the comfort of knowing that we're going to have something when we come home.
Yeah, exactly. And people, most of the time, they're going to view tour as the money side of things like this huge stress.
Totally.
Know? And like I keep saying that because it's like, obviously this stuff is lame, Like I don't want to be into finance or whatever, right? I mean, I'm trying to be a fucking drummer in a metal band. Give me a break. But you either attack it ahead of time or you have to worry about it later. And it's even worse later.
Oh, man. I remember we had a pretty big merch bill, and I remember waking up every morning and just feeling the weight of that merch bill.
You're home and you're like, oh God, and so
I don't enjoy the feeling of having debt.
No.
I don't like being indebted to people. I hate that.
No.
And it's allergic to it. So
and
it
I
feels
think it's a
good.
trap that a lot of band people fall into because it's so normal to do that, right?
Oh yeah.
And I remember, just to be totally honest, I think the reason I started thinking of this was because I remember Animosity's like top paying out tour that we ever did was because we had a paid for van, paid for trailer, and all the merch in the trailer was paid for before the tour.
Yeah.
So it's like Come on, let's do that. And sorry, but the point that I was trying to make before was the peace aspect of it. You know, to go on tour and to just be having fun and not really worrying about it. And honestly, even if it takes a huge strain off, like, okay, we didn't do as well as we did on the tour. Well, nobody's coming after us, you know? It's taking way more ownership of the whole entire thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, okay, it's like, okay, well, we get paid a little bit less than we wanted to. Big whoop. Not, oh shit, we can't even pay anybody because we owe all this money.
Yeah.
Because you never know how a tour is going to do.
No, I mean, you can estimate as much as you want. You have a generalized idea. I think you can kind of guess. But really, a lot of the time, some places will do way worse than they normally do. Because what you do in order to guess is you kind of keep record of your merch sales in every city or their surrounding markets throughout the tours. And you can definitely, it's interesting to look at because when I go back and look at all those numbers, I can definitely see a growth in our band. But sometimes there are cities that will do really well in one tour and the next tour we just don't do as well. And so it is really hard to really have a true idea of how you're going to do on a tour. It's hard. But you can try.
And that itself takes a lot of time, though, to have numbers from playing the same place over and over again.
Yeah.
Because even if you tour for, I don't know, a couple of years, you could still not really go to the same places. Because you could do like an A market tour and then a B market one.
Right.
And then, you know, it's...
Right.
So...
But with that being said, numbers are your friend. Keep track of numbers.
Seriously. Bust out the Excels.
Yeah. Use Excel. Get a calculator.
I never in a million years thought I would care about any of this shit, dude.
No, but, you know, the further that you get in... For me, this type of, like, managerial shit, I'm really good at it. And it's fun for me. Like, sending out merch, all of our band's merch, is a huge ordeal. It's like having a part-time job.
I mean, it's like the whole weekend we were... Yeah, and I sort of helped out a little bit. I'm kind of worthless, but...
You helped out a little, but the whole weekend and today, I was sending merch.
And that's awesome.
When I wasn't at work.
Yeah.
That's all I was doing. So. But I love doing that stuff, so it's fun for me to do that. But I can't remember what my point was. Oh, not everyone likes to do that.
I mean, musicians not really known for their organizational skills.
I was saying that over time it's become more fun for me. The like managerial, the day-to-day managerial aspects of being in a band.
Yeah, I was just thinking of like a good way to put it. Like you gotta...
Micromanaging. I don't know.
You have to take control of the numbers.
Before the numbers take control of you.
Boom. There it is. That's pretty good, right?
Yeah, that's really good. That's a good quote. That's
true,
y'all
dude.
Better quote Navene on that one. That's good.
They'll take control of you, right?
They actually will. The numbers will eat you alive.
And you'll just be sitting there like, God, this sucks. And so, yeah, I mean, I say this all the time, but we do this shit so that we can keep going, right? Into our 30s.
Yeah.
We're some old motherfuckers.
Hell yeah.
Not really, though.
Yeah. I'm really excited about our band right now. I'm feeling very inspired. With that being said, all that merch stuff, if you're one of the people who bought merch from us over the weekend, thank you so much.
Yeah.
It may not you may not realize this when you go to buy merch from a band, but every bit of support or when you go to like write a note to a band, if you feel stupid doing that, don't.
Yeah. Don't.
It means a lot to us.
It does.
Selling all of that merch is a lot more than just like money for us to make the single. It's a lot of inspiration for us to make music, you know?
Yeah. And I think we were talking about this a little earlier today. Like this weekend we had like one of our best merch days ever.
Ever, online or off.
Yeah, so that includes a show or not at a show.
Yeah.
And it's sometimes you just need a little something to be like, okay, I'm doing something that I'm not being delusional. I'm not just being, because I'm always second guessing myself as like an artist type or whatever, musician.
Yeah.
They tend to be a little bit delusional, right? I mean, come on, let's be real here.
Yeah, we always talk about this. It's like when you're like forging your own thing in life, forging your own path in life, it's very easy to second guess yourself, and if any kind of snag is in the road, then it'll fucking throw you off course, and you can become like super bummed out easily because there's no like certain way to go.
Right.
It's easy to not believe in yourself.
Yeah.
That's really easy. So seeing all of that stuff, or just seeing people want to buy our merch,
it's like, yes,
it's crazy.
Let's keep going. It's some sort of like feedback. Yes, this is going somewhere.
Yeah, it's like, hey, we like what you guys do.
Yeah.
Here you go.
And it's like what you said about like it could start maybe if you're a smaller band or whatever and you're not going to be able to sell a bunch of merch online or whatever. Yeah, like just getting a bunch of messages. That's like, okay, cool. Like people care.
Yeah. Getting love is cool.
And it's something to it's just sort of a gratitude and helping you want to keep going. I guess it sounds lame, but I mean, there's just realities to this.
Mm-hmm. You know what happened to me one time? There's a girl in Houston who gave me an album that was like totally like she came up to me at a show with a CD that was of this music that she told me I would like, and I listened to it and it was like totally keyed into my taste in music. And I was just like, holy shit, that's crazy
cool.
that someone like cares enough to know what kind of music I'm into and then bring a suggestion to me to a show. Like, I must be doing something right if that is happening. It's insane.
I know. And that's what we're getting at. I mean, that's the feeling that you want to have to keep going. But
so thank you guys.
Yeah.
For real. We're just like,
damn it.
Yeah, I want to shed a tear.
Thank you.
Because really, or just like getting a view on our YouTube channel for this silly podcast that we started a few months ago that we had no idea where it was going to go. And now we have a fucking
mugs.
Yeah, now we have mugs and this sign behind us. We're hella official, and I don't know. It's just crazy. And
they haven't even seen the shirt design yet, though.
Oh shit.
When I saw the shirt design, I was like, it's on. It's on.
Yeah, we have a shirt design, you guys. We're going to premiere it soon.
Yeah, not for a while. A lot of cliffhangers.
Dun, dun, dun.
But we're getting stuff done on this material, though, for real. So that's not a bunch of talk. That's legit.
Yeah, no, we're
making headway.
We're gonna release some stuff soon.
And cool announcements to follow.
That's right. That's right.
But we're not.
You haven't heard the last of us, internet. So
sure.
Let's get into some questions now that we've talked about ourselves enough.
Now that you've been lectured. What if people are like, I'm not going to be in a band. I don't care. It's not for you then, I guess, the podcast. It's probably still interesting to hear about.
Being in a band? Yeah, I think that, I know for sure that my mom has told me she listens to the podcast. And for her, someone who doesn't know that much about the, musical life, I think it's very insightful.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of shit that you can't just sit down and get out in questions.
I know.
So
it's hard to get out.
So
and
I think it might be
and another thing is
interesting.
people don't want to talk about it. I think
true.
most people who started
I
a
have
podcast,
no idea what you
right?
just said.
Most band people who start a podcast What are they going to talk about? Crazy stuff that happens on tour, right? Not like, hey, you should save up to to go on tour and debt free.
There is crazy stuff that happens on tour, though.
Not to me.
Crazy stuff definitely happens to you on tour, Navene.
Few and far between.
One time, Jada Pinkett Smith was at a show that you played.
I didn't meet her or anything. I mean,
she was fucking there.
I heard she was.
Rumor has it.
Yeah.
Cool stuff happens on tour every so often.
Yeah, I mean, tour is cool, obviously, but
yeah.
I'm not the best to go to. I'm not your go-to guy for crazy tour shenanigans.
Tour stories.
God, fucking shoulder is killing me.
Yeah, Navene injured his shoulder at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, finally happened. Got smashed on.
So what do you think? Do you think you're going to be able to keep playing drums, Navene? Is it taking you out of the game?
Right now, I think I'm out of the game right now. Like, I don't think I could play a show.
What?
Yeah.
Damn. So.
Not good.
Stupid. I'm just saying this. You know that I'm like fully in support of you doing jiu-jitsu. Yeah. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for you to compete and do that stuff or whatever. But at what is there a point that it would get to with your
last
with
night
being
I was
hurt
like,
that you think you might not that you think could make you want to quit?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, last night when I just sort of landed wrong on my shoulder. I was like, well, I guess I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, I mean, well, what I was saying to you last night is that I think that that's just something that might happen in jiu-jitsu. Yeah. Like everyone gets hurt.
It's a combat sport.
Perhaps, I don't know that much about it, but perhaps over time you learn how to not have things like that happen to you.
I think you get better over time for sure.
Yeah, because you're really new at it.
I've been doing good.
Mm-hmm.
And the ironic part is last night I was like, man, I'm fucking feeling good tonight, dude.
Yeah.
Getting it.
Yeah.
And then the last sparring round or whatever went the wrong way.
Yeah.
Shit sucked.
Yeah, that really sucks. But it'll heal. I feel like it's not broken.
No, it's all right.
Because you can lift it up. And
I honestly thought it was way worse than it is right now. Like today, it's like, all right, it's sore, but I'll be all right.
Yeah.
And I have Wolverine-like healing abilities.
I was just thinking of titles for this episode. It was like sticks and stones may break Naveen's bones. I don't know.
Wolverine,
I don't know. I'm going somewhere with that.
Wolverine-like healing abilities.
Damn. Wolverine-like healing abilities. I wonder if it matters what we name these episodes. Because we will like go back and forth for 30 minutes every week about what to name it.
The hardest part is getting the right screenshot for the cover.
Yeah.
And what to name it. It's like, fuck,
the actual talking comes like, really naturally to both Navene and I. We were actually, I think we were talking about this, that we feel sorry for our kids because we talk so much.
We're going to have to learn how to listen, Chaney.
We know how to listen. I think we're both very good listeners.
You just said that you didn't hear me, what I said.
Well, that's because that's the only time that happened, for the record. We were just both born with the gift of gab.
True. Do you ever listen back to the podcast and you're like, oh, wow, that's what Navene was talking about?
Yeah.
Really?
I have. Yeah.
Okay, that's not good. It's not a good sign.
Well, no. I don't mean it in a way that like I wasn't listening to you. I mean it in a way that like sometimes you know, like when you have a conversation with someone, you will like think about it hours later and then you'll process exactly what they were saying, and maybe you reacted to their what they were saying in a way that you don't agree with now 5 hours later.
Right.
And you're like, oh, that's what they were talking about.
That makes sense.
It's called having a fucking eureka moment. Get with it or get out.
It's also weird having like this many hours of, I mean, it's not that many. It's not that many. It's not like 1,000 hours of talking, but what is it? 14? Is this episode 14?
I'm not sure. I think it's 14.
So that's like 16 something hours of talking.
Yeah, there are a lot of hours of us talking on the internet. I'm pretty down for it though.
We're just getting started too, so.
Yeah, man.
Not going anywhere. All right, Chaney, you want to do one of these questions right here?
Yeah, let's get to the questions. Which one should we do first? We don't have a bridge.
Let's do the easy one because then we can talk about that band.
Okay. Hey, Navene. This is from someone on YouTube. And your name on YouTube is Head Rocka. Hey, Navene, I got a question for you. I noticed your name in the list of additional contributors in the credits of my 2019 Artist of the Year, Warforged 1 I voice. It's either I or 1.
It might be 1.
Yeah, it might be Roman numeral 1.
It's the band Warforged.
Yeah, it's Warforged. Could you shed any light on your contributions to the album?
Yeah, so that's a pretty straightforward one. I think they're from Kansas, I think, right?
Chicago.
Okay, Chicago, close enough. But I think they're...
Excuse me. Us Midwesterners would
they're from the Midwest.
disagree.
I think they heard about me. Like, I think they're friends. I might just be making this up, but whatever. Who cares? They're friends with Roman Holiday, who I produced, and I played a little bit on their stuff.
Oh, okay.
Whenever I record a band or produce them, I'm going to play on there. You know, it's just going to happen.
Really?
So, yeah.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
You did with my old band.
Every band that I've ever recorded, I've played on it.
Makes
sense.
In some way. Makes sense.
A little guitar here.
A little bit of production.
Yeah. Something.
Yeah. A little sugar and spice. Navene.
You know, I was like, hand it over here. Give it the
Did you think
I
was calling you?
I was like, yeah. For sure.
Oh.
For sure. They just asked me to do a guitar solo. That's it. Hey, do a guitar solo on our album. We're down for you, and I did it. And it's on the song Nightfall Came.
Yep. Which
we actually just jammed before the show.
Sick song.
So I haven't heard it in a while.
Sick.
But there's multiple solos on that song, so you're gonna have to just figure out which one you think is mine.
It's very Navene flavored. I can pick it out in a hot second.
Because it's whole tone.
That song's really sick.
Yeah.
I've checked out that album a bit. We've been writing, so I haven't really been checking out a bunch of new stuff. I know that album came out last year. I said before I'm really bad at checking out albums, but I'm sure I'll get into that this year.
You check them out when the time's right. You'll check it out.
It always rolls around for me. I drive a lot for work, so I'll be like, oh yeah, I wanted to throw on.
What's the rush to check out?
There's no rush.
It's going to be around forever.
And I have this kind of obsessive personality trait where if I'm into music, I kind of listen to the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah, it's hard to get out of that thing.
It's really hard. And lately, when I'm listening to music, I'm listening to like Emma Ruth Rundle, Joni Mitchell, Buffalo Springfield, Neil Young.
I mean, we've been getting into some Zappa. Dude.
Zappa. We've been listening to a lot of Zappa.
I'm a mega Zappa fan too, not like a poser Zappa fan.
I'm also just a fan of watching specifically live Zappa videos, and live Zappa plays Zappa videos.
Dude, how cool is that?
Yeah. Well,
what about hold on, brag?
Yeah.
How you were like, oh, is this Terry Bozzio? And I was like, nope.
Yeah, you could tell that it was Chad Wackerman. That's insane.
Boom.
That's so sick.
That's the ear.
But
dude.
then, to be fair, the next video you couldn't tell, and I knew only because I know what Terry Bozzio looks like.
Okay, yeah, I goofed in on the next one. Not as cool.
Speaking of sick ass drummers, though, NAMM is this weekend, so it's gonna be Wednesday when this comes out. So happy NAMM, y'all!
Dang.
Because I think NAMM starts on Wednesday, right?
I think it starts on. I think they set up Wednesday and then they started on Thursday.
Perhaps, yeah. So we'll be at NAMM this weekend. Probably, maybe we'll go to some NAMM parties on Friday, but we'll be at actual NAMM on Saturday. But Saturday night.
Be at NAMM, you know?
Yeah, so if you're gonna be at NAMM, say hey to us. But Saturday night we're going to see JD Beck play with Domi.
Yeah.
Domi's like, I think Domi.
Insane.
She's this French girl, and she is one of the sickest key players I've ever seen.
Literally.
Insane.
Literally
this is not,
sickest drummer.
This is not exaggerating, or they are insane.
I mean, ridiculous, like, it's just weird.
And they're both really young, which is cool.
It's just straight up weird, so I'm excited for that show.
I'm so excited. So excited.
I'm more excited for that than NAMM.
Actually, I'm way more excited for that than NAMM. And last night, we found out it was sold out, and we were heartbroken because we thought we weren't going to get into the show, but we got tickets this morning. Found them on the net.
Had to do some little texting. You know what I mean? Let me get in.
Love it, yo. Let me
hit the show.
Please.
Come on, let me get in.
So we're going to go see that. It's in Los Angeles. You can't get in. So, haha. Sucks to be you. Unless you can find a ticket on the internet, which if I were you and I was in Los Angeles, I would, because that's going to be so sick, and I'm going to be posting videos all over my fucking Instagram.
So if you can't get in, just peep Chaney's story.
Peep my story. At Chaney Crabb.
There's also a Conor McGregor fight that night.
Damn. Well, what time do you think the Conor McGregor fight will be?
I don't know. I got to check out the event page.
Because the show is only 8 to 9.
Let's go to like a Buffalo Wild Wings or something.
Yeah. Dude, I would love to. It'd be so fun.
Damn, that would be hella fun.
Isn't Holly Holm fighting that night too?
Yes.
You know me, I'm a fair weather.
I'm fair weather too.
Fair weather MMA fan, so if I see my girl Holly up there, I'm going.
Yeah.
Don't know anyone else though. No, I know a few other people. Misha Tate.
There you go. I'm not going to act like I'm some huge fan. I just am peripherally into
I'm totally going and rooting for the famous person.
It's just honestly
Sorry,
really fun to go to Buffalo Wild Wings and watch UFC fights.
Yeah.
All right, Chaney, you want to get into one of these other questions?
Yeah, let's do it. Am I reading or are you?
No, I'll read it. I'm just kind of perusing the
okay.
question, you know?
How far are we into the ep?
I don't know. I can't really see the screen. Dude, 37 minutes.
Damn.
Content coming at you. Just wisdom nonstop.
You've just been smart.
I mean, like I said, it's whatever. It's the podcast. You don't have to listen to it if you don't want to.
Dude, it's like totally like whatever, man.
Bro. All right, let's get into it. Let me see if I can read. Okay. So this is from Cory.
What?
Cory on Instagram here.
Was it off of Instagram? I don't
Yeah, it was off Instagram.
Oh.
Should I shout out his name on there?
Yeah, dude, of course.
Father Deer Hands _
Follow.
He's blowing up now.
Give Cory a follow.
Shoot him a
Cory,
follow.
you're about to get one new follower.
He follows back, I heard. So he said, sorry that I don't listen to Direction. Just finishing up episode 3. And now with the two of you liking so much different music, what are some of your favorite music albums of 2019? Did we already answer this? Chaney? Of 2019 specifically?
No, we just talked about the decade. Off the top of my head, Chelsea Wolfe, American Darkness was one of my favorite records last year. Like we've just gone over though. Late to the game.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll be able to tell you my favorite records of 2019.
Or are we late to the game by reading questions that are not pertinent to the episode anymore? I'm saying
they
go
are.
check out. I did my little research. I made my Spotify list. So just go check that out, okay?
Dude. Yeah, but I checked the list and there's literally nothing from 2019 on it.
I don't know. I'd have to look at my phone. I don't know when things come out, you know?
Yeah, see, that's something hard.
I just go, oh, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna check that out.
I
And then
don't
it
have
says at the very
any
bottom
idea.
when it came out. I mean,
I don't really have any idea when things come out. Like, I'm not the person who's like, oh fuck, it's release day, unless it's like, I
we're
don't
just
know.
jaded, horrible fucks.
No, it's not that I'm jaded. It's that, dude, like I said earlier, I sit and listen to albums and I really absorb them and I overplay them. I play them until I hate them and can't listen to them for 2 years.
Yeah.
So I listen to the same record for like 3 months straight. And it's not that I don't want to check out new music. I do occasionally check new things out. I just, honestly, other than that Chelsea Wolfe record, can't think of what came out last year.
I don't know. I'm sure there's some good stuff that came out last year. But
Yeah. Maybe we should do like a year behind list, because I feel like now I could provide a really good 2018 list.
That doesn't make any sense.
Next year.
That's why I'm saying it. You got the decade, you know? It's got everything in there.
No, but I'm sure your favorite records were really good, man.
I bet there was some good ones from 2019, but I can't think of any.
That Warforged sounds sick.
And I didn't bother to look at the question before the episode started.
I listened to Cattle Decapitation, Death Atlas. That was a sick album. Shadow of Intent. That was a sick record.
Now we're getting into some stuff.
Okay, now I'm thinking. Sorry. Got the wheels turning. Other stuff.
Like I said, I don't know. I'd have to look at my phone and see when the stuff came out. And I could probably get you
I don't know what else came out. Sorry.
All right, terrible, worst answer ever.
We're like, support the music, man.
Yeah, support. What came out last year?
Honestly, man, it's just... Oh, Opeth. Opeth put out a fucking... Tool. Fear Inoculum, obviously. Okay. I listened to a lot of records that I loved last year, actually. Fear Inoculum, the new Opeth album I loved.
A lot of stuff coming out.
Okay, so I did listen to quite a few things. But what I'm saying is that I'm sure that I'll listen to like a million records from last year during this year that I had no idea were out last year.
Yeah.
So my list will grow greater.
Same here. Exactly. Same here. I mean,
But something that I did just take in that came out last year is Joker. I just saw that movie.
The Joker movie?
Yeah, I thought it was really rad. I thought it was a good movie, but my favorite part of it was the score. You didn't like it very much.
The movie?
Yeah.
I mean, it was a really good movie.
Yeah.
I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. It's way better than
it was a really good movie.
The Irishman.
Yeah. The
oh
laughing, I know that was integral to the story, you know, that he had an uncontrollable laugh.
Mm-hmm.
But it just sort of... I got tired of hearing it.
There was honestly like a pitch in his laugh that was really getting on my nerves.
Yeah, I guess that's good acting.
But I understand, because that's kind of the Joker's like maniacal, crazy, really high-pitched laugh.
Yeah.
Like in the cartoons, the Joker's laugh is like that. So I get it. But yeah, I could see why you would...
It's a cool take on the Joker.
I thought it was great. Yeah.
I guess I sort of just wanted the Joker to be like a little more badass.
What I actually loved the most, though, well, aside from the score, which was amazing, was that his mom was Frances Conroy from 6 Feet Under.
Dude, I was just thinking about
that today. Which is one of my favorite shows ever.
I was just thinking about that today. I was going to be like, that woman's from 6 Feet Under.
Yeah, so. Frances Conroy. And I need to go rewatch 6 Feet Under, with that being said.
That's a commitment.
It's about that time.
All right, Chaney, should we dig into this big old bulky question? I think it's better that we don't really read the questions beforehand.
You know, I actually want to answer this question about the world without us, because it's been there for 2 weeks.
Shit.
So do you want to ask it?
Yeah, let me ask it. Ask me something. Okay. Hey, Chaney and Naveen. After answering my question about taking influence from other art forms a few weeks ago on the podcast, I found a number of references to Alan Weissman's book, The World Without Us, in the lyrics to Dark Future. What about his book resonated the most with you guys when writing the album? Chaney, expand.
Well, that's a very good, you figured it out. Yes, that The World Without Us I got from the title of that book. And there's actually a quote in Resonance that's from that book. As far as the lyrical content, it's not the same as the book, The World Without Us. Like, the inspiration is more in the actual words in the quote and the name of the book than it has to do with anything else, because the book is about essentially what would happen to the earth if humans disappeared in a split second, if humans just suddenly disappeared. And the Dark Future thematically is about taking advantage of the time you have on Earth, and that you can suddenly disappear. So while the title and the words were inspirational to me, I wasn't like drawing from the book in writing the album. So
kind of just more inspired by
more
the
inspired
words
by
themselves.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so that's a very good observation, though.
Very astute.
Mm-hmm. All right. You want to dive into this?
All right, you ready for this big boy?
Yes.
You want me to read it? You reading it?
I can read it.
I can't read, so it's going to be a while for me to get through that one.
All right, this one is from Alan. Alan says, this is a long one, so. Alan says, hey guys, off the bat, I want to thank you for taking the steps to make this podcast because it is incredibly relatable, meaningful, and helpful to listen to as someone who is struggling, like many others, to self-actualize as a musician and artist. It makes me feel less alone to hear band members I look up to talk about their personal struggles and mental games they play with themselves and the world in general. I love watching and listening to interviews of other bands and learning about what they're actually like as people and how they live. And I really wish I had the luxury of one of my favorite bands making a podcast when I was 16. I'm 25 now. I've been drumming since around 10 years old and have lived in New England my whole life, have played in multiple local bands with the same group of friends, have since lost touch with them over the past year, and am now working 50 plus hours at a pizza shop, trying to get myself out of a financial hole and into a better living situation. I don't have much time or energy to dedicate to making music and practicing, and am very bad at using my free time for all of that, as a fellow procrastinator. I like that you say the time and place to start is here and now, because it's true and hits the nail on the head when it comes to that. I have the ability to write music, mostly by ear, and given the time to practice, could definitely improve my guitar playing enough to write and record in the future. Hard emphasis on having the time to do that. I really miss playing in a band and the caliber of musicianship I achieved and came close to achieving, and that of my friends at the time was impressive and reassuring to me that this is what I was born to do. I've lacked a place to practice drums for over 1.5 years now, and my skills have greatly atrophied, and I'm very frustrated with my lack of willpower to rise up and change my life. The progress is painfully slow and really feels and looks like I've been sleep crawling in a place for 2 to 3 years. 1 step forward and 2 steps back kind of deal. I have my goals, but I mean, you get the idea. I'm coming from a place of not having money to do much, including go to shows, and lacking friends and personal/intimate connection with anyone. In general, I'm painfully disconnected from everything I love, and I really just want to improve and not continue watching my life wastefully slide by. It's really scary, and I currently consider turning 26 being over the hump, because my youth will essentially be over, in my opinion, and I have virtually nothing to show for it, for all the opportunities and help I was given that I took for granted, and I didn't realize how good of a position I was in before. I'm not trying to be a venting bitch, by the way. I respect you both a lot and just wanted to reach out and say that you're doing good work and to be another voice in this world to encourage you to keep going, and I can't wait to hear the new material. I almost didn't want to send you a message because I wanted to be in a better place when doing so, but I'm just jumping in the water and fire here. I intend on ordering a KoperCrabb mug when I have the money. I've had Naveen's drum transcription of Dark Future sitting in my closet untouched for over a year, along with a signed poster of the Infinite Nothing cover art, which I have yet to frame still. The little magnet is on my fridge, and the green Entheos sticker I'm still saving for the right spot to put it in. I don't know what else to say. I love you guys and can't wait to finally see you for the first time when you come around on tour. Whoa, that was heavy.
I feel that guy, man.
Yeah.
Who doesn't feel like that?
I know.
Which is funny because I think you'd expect for me or you or some like higher up person to be like, all right, dude, get it going, you know, some positivity speech.
Well, what do they call that? What kind of positivity?
They don't call it that. Nick Gauthier coined the term toxic positivity.
Toxic positivity.
Yeah.
That is what that is. It's positivity without facing that life can be a real bitch sometimes, and we can get ourselves into holes that and depression exists and things exist that we feel like we can't get out of.
Yeah. I feel like that a lot, by the way. But something I was thinking about when he was saying that was, you know, saying his story. Mm-hmm. And I was like, damn, I feel this guy. I mean, I really, really relate to that. And I think it would be pretty, I think it'd be pretty weird if you were a musician and can't relate to what this dude just laid down.
I also, it hit me hard, him saying he's 26 years old and he feels like he's gotten nowhere. Because, dude, I was 26. Entheos started when I was 27. I think I just turned 20. Maybe I was 26. I think, I was 26 when Entheos started. But before that, I've been a vocalist since I was 13 years old. I always wanted to make this a thing. But there was a while there where I felt like I was never going to play music again.
Yep.
And it was fucking horrible. I did all of these things that I wanted to do. I was going to college. I'd gone back to college because we'd moved to Santa Cruz and I went to college. And I was studying something I was really interested in. But once you play music and you kind of see where that can take you, once you get a glimpse of it, once you get a glimpse, there's no going back. It's hard to get that out of your system. Yeah. And I'm pretty convinced that long after I stop touring, when I'm old and gray, I'm gonna want to do it in some way. Yeah. Like we're gonna have to rent an RV and drive around the country and, you know, at least do something that resembles that. But man, it's so relatable what you said. I've been your age and feeling like I wasn't ever going to accomplish anything artistically, and it's awful.
Yeah, I mean, I'm there fucking weekly. What do you say?
No shit. I mean,
literally, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, this sucks. This is not what I wanted to be doing, right? I'm like working just for money. I'm not living to what I think is my best potential. But something that I was thinking about was he admires the podcast, and we could have made up a million reasons to not do it.
Oh yeah.
And then one weekend it was just like, fuck it, dude, let's do it. Yeah. And I sort of use this mentality for making music too. Like if I fall off of writing a lot, I think the one of the things that I will admit to being pretty good at is like always writing. Yeah,
you are good at that.
So I'm not good at practicing. I'm not good at anything else, but I'll say yes, I can get it going and crank out some music. And the way that I do it is I know, okay, day one, like let's say I haven't done anything in a few weeks or whatever, or months. It doesn't matter how long. Day one, you're not going to get a whole lot done. Okay. So that can be, all right, I'm just going to play guitar for a little while today. I don't know, 15 minutes or whatever, right? Day 2, all right, maybe I'm going to play for 20 minutes. Day 3, okay, now I'm going to bust out KoperCrabb. I'm going to start writing some stuff. Day 3, oh, what do you know? I'm tracking some stuff. Day 4, I'm fucking putting drums, and then like stuff that things in motion tend to stay in motion. So if you're in a rut and you're going the opposite way, you're going to keep going in that flow. You're going to keep going toward that way. So pushing back is really hard at first. And then it kind of just becomes easier and easier when you get into the flow of it. So I just don't expect a whole lot if I haven't been doing the thing for a while. And we all have the tendency to be sort of like fatalist. How this guy, how Alan's talking about it. He's saying he's looking down this dark path. He's seeing where it goes. Maybe it's not ideal for him. And I think it's important to not think too far ahead in that way, right? It's like, just think of something small that is totally doable today, and let's do it again tomorrow, and let's do it again the next day. And it's going to take some time, but you can get that momentum going.
Yeah, that's
and you
what
can
it's all
get
about.
a lot done, dude.
You can.
Like, I'm telling you right now, we work a lot. Some weeks I'm probably working 50, 60 hours maybe.
Yeah, I counted my hours because I have one job that's not an hourly job, but it's a lot of driving. I drive from like house to house, and we live in the mountains, so I'm driving like through the mountains and stuff. Yeah. And with all of my jobs combined, on top of sending merch, I probably work 60, 70 hours a week.
So with that said, it's doable.
Yeah.
But it's hard. It sucks. I'm trying to move away from it.
But it's about the now.
Yeah.
It's about, man, you feel old. Of course, we all feel old when we turn 26, but I'm here at 31 telling you you're not fucking old at all. Yeah, you're really, really young.
People who are looking at me and Chaney in our early 30s, I'll take that, saying, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. And then I've also thought about it like, oh, what if I get too old? It's like, well, then cool. I'll be like this novel old guy. That's even cooler.
How old was Frank Zappa when he started playing guitar? Like 22?
23.
Jesus Christ. If Frank Zappa started playing guitar at 23 and...
hadn't played guitar yet.
Didn't play one.
Yeah.
Didn't play a song. Didn't strum a chord.
I remember when I read that, I was like, okay, dude, it's on. I can do whatever the fuck I want. Because I think I was 23 and I wanted to start recording. So I was like, cool. Dude, I'm going to fucking record then. Easy.
Get out there and do your thing. We have a friend who is in his 40s, and he started a band in his 40s. He started like a solo project in his 40s, and now he goes out opening for for Mike Portnoy's band.
Yeah. You can do it, man.
Shit happens.
And that's not me being all ultra positive or whatever. It's just you got to actually get it going and start small.
Yeah.
Because, think about any other thing, right? Let's say you're out of shape and you want to get in shape. Well, how do you can't like just sit there and go, oh God, if I don't get in shape, I'm going to get, health issues and then da. It's like, let's just start heading in the right direction.
Well,
let's
also
start going in the right direction a little bit each day, and it starts to snowball.
Yeah.
And then you start getting down 6 months later, a year later. You're like, fuck, man, I'm in a whole different place.
And a lot of what you talked about were like financial issues. I don't think that... I think that Navene is really qualified to help you to at least lend you some advice with how to start getting your finances in control. Because, full disclosure, Navene like whipped both of us and our band into shape financially, because Navene started listening to Dave Ramsey and following the plan that Dave Ramsey lays out, and it's to basically you put out how much money you want to spend every month.
Yep.
What's that called? A budget.
There you go.
You set a budget.
Yep.
Navene is probably really proud right now that I'm reciting this because it took a while. You plan a budget. You only spend within that budget. So Navene and I have a budget that we use every single month.
Yeah.
We know how much we're going to spend on groceries. We know how much we're going to spend on going out to eat and fun stuff.
We kind of go over sometimes.
Bills. Sometimes we go over for sure. But we keep track of how much we go over. Everything is kept track of. And he did it for our band as well. And that is how we got out of debt personally.
Yep.
Navene paid his car off. And that's how the band got out of debt. That's why we were able to get this house.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of things. So you do the budget. You bring in money at as much as you can, sell shit, whatever, and you get back on track real quick. And then once you're on track, it's a hell of a lot easier to just sort of smooth sail coast doing that stuff. Because it's been almost a year since we've started doing it.
Yeah.
And we're keeping it going, no problem. So yeah, I mean, you can look into that if you want to get your financials on track.
What's the name of the app?
Every dollar. It's free. All this shit's free.
Honestly,
any money. It's life changing.
If you want to check it out, it truly actually changed our lives. Like, no joke. You guys have seen a picture of the barn. Yeah. We lived in the barn because we could pay such low rent while we were touring musicians.
Right.
But then
once we actually knew, because we had no idea what we actually made.
We had no idea.
It was just like, oh, cool, we have enough for this. Let's get it.
And to be honest with you, it was kind of a free-for-all. Navene and I both are very good at buying stuff. We both love clothes. We both love shoes. We both love instruments. So Navene loves Eurorack synths.
Spend it all, baby.
We will be up on Amazon fucking one-clicking that shit all day. I love Adidas. I'll buy a lot of stuff. I'm good at buying stuff.
But you know what was really cool about that was I got to sort of step back, and I didn't really buy anything for myself that I didn't like absolutely need, and I really mean that. I mean, I didn't buy shit for probably 5 months. So it really enables you to just start like enjoying the stuff that you have already. Yeah. And I still do that. I'm still, sometimes if I want something new, I'll just be like, you know what? Instead of buying something new, I'm just going to go appreciate something that I have. That sounds really stupid, but it's true. It's like you start to realize that you already have so much cool stuff.
Absolutely.
And then, especially if you start getting rid of stuff, then you can really just keep the stuff that means a lot to you. And it's just the greatest feeling, man.
Yeah.
Love it.
And then, so another thing that you said was that you've lacked a place to practice drums for over 1.5 years now, and your skills have greatly atrophied, and you're frustrated with your lack of willpower.
Get some practice pads, bro.
Practice pads, dude. You don't even need an e-kit, because honestly, if you just have like, if you download some recording software and get Easy Drummer or something, you can write your drum parts.
Right.
Most people don't have a place to play drums. They're really fucking loud.
I mean, for when we lived in the barn, I didn't have a place to play drums for years.
And honestly, it was
years.
It was something that scared me about moving into a house that most houses are so close together that you just couldn't play drums inside of them. Luckily, we got a house that has nothing around it, so we can play drums all day and night.
Oh shit!
But that is really hard to come by. So most people don't have a place to play drums, man.
I get it.
And
trust me.
A practice pad is what, like $20?
Nah, more than that.
Okay,
You're gonna spend. You might as well get like a good setup. Okay, so get the Gibraltar kick pad. It's probably like $50 or $60. And then a snare pad and a stand and whatever pedal you already have. So I don't know, $100 in the game.
Yeah, that's how Navene did not practice for a really long time.
I would just do pad stuff every once in a while just to keep the chops going. Yeah. And then use my neighbor's studio, but I'd have to set up my whole, drum set and tear it down. It's awesome that he let me use the studio.
Yeah, that was really cool. Stuff. Getting a storage unit. I know that you said that you're low on money, so you probably shouldn't spend money on a storage unit right now. Like a practice pad is something good for right now, but maybe you could aim to get a storage space. I don't know where you live. I can't remember if you live in New England. So depending
Probably
on
not
where
too
you
cheap
live,
there.
honestly, yeah. I guess it would depend on what part of New England you live in,
Yeah.
whether or not you could get a cheap storage unit. Or, dude, if there are bands in your city or town, then try to share a spot with them. See if you can jam somewhere else. Find someone to jam with on Craigslist and see if they have a spot that you can jam in.
There's ways to do it. I mean, it's just...
I
get that it seems impossible, though. That's really what he's getting at. It's like everything just seems like so hard.
Of course.
And I feel him because I know what that feels like.
Me too.
To just be like you're stuck in tar. And
Yeah.
You just are like, fuck, can't get it going. And sometimes for me, that just means, okay, well, I'm just not going to be productive right now in this month or whatever.
Yeah.
And it happens.
It
Especially in the
definitely
winter.
happens. Man, this winter specifically, I've been all about the sad.
Yeah. Seasonal affective disorder.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not like super sad,
Yeah.
but I just feel myself. I hate the time change.
Yeah.
I do not like that it gets dark so
I'm
early.
sick of
It's ridiculous.
Sick
I
of
don't
it.
want it anymore. Take it back.
And we were like doing let's get up early, everything. It's like now, okay, I get up, and I don't even do this every day. I do it like when I absolutely have to now. But it's like, get up, it's dark.
And it's cold.
Get home, it's dark.
Yeah, it's
It's
like
what am I, a fucking vampire?
I want to be under the blankets all day too because I'm freezing.
Over it.
Like, even
Done
if our
with it.
heat is on, I'm still freezing. It doesn't matter. And then I go outside, it's more freezing out there. Everywhere I go, it's fucking cold.
And we live in California, Chaney, come on.
And we live in California, so it's probably 50 degrees outside.
It's like 40s, mid-40s.
No, it's like mid 40s for sure. Some nights it's
Yeah.
gotten down in the 30s.
Damn. But yeah, I think if I'm Alan, I'm getting inspired somehow. So maybe that means if he's a drummer, we're going to watch some drum videos.
Yeah, if you can't afford,
gonna-
since you said you can't afford to go to a show, what I've been doing lately every day is going and watching Frank Zappa live shows because I can't.
Yeah.
It's not a matter of not being able to afford it. I can't go see Frank Zappa live because he's dead.
True that.
So
Yeah, we're getting inspired. We're getting some practice pads, okay?
smoke a little weed, man.
And then I don't know.
If it's not your thing, don't do it. But if it is, then
Yeah.
puff a little.
Then if we have a computer, we're getting some programs on there. We're making music, man. We're starting small. Maybe, hey, when I get home today for 15 minutes, I'll work on it. Or maybe I got one day off. Okay, on my day off, I'm going to fucking get something going.
Yeah, man.
Mentally prepare. That helps me for sure. I'll just be like, all right, on this day, I'm doing this. And then when I wake up, I'm just going for it.
Totally.
Because I've been that mental preparation.
And you said you don't really, all of your other bandmates are kind of doing other things now. Well, they're bandmates on the internet.
True that.
The internet is a
Maybe
very
he could
great,
utilize
useful tool.
some of these groups
Go
that
to,
we're talking about.
Yeah, Alan, if you haven't, go join. I don't know what type of music you're trying to play, but there are a ton of great musical groups on Facebook, and two specifically that I frequent are the technical progressive metal sharing group. I can't remember the fucking
Too long
final
of a name.
word. Sorry, it's escaping me. And then there's a gent group. And there is a progressive metal group as well. There's a death metal group. Whatever you want to play, go join a group. There are a lot of people on there who are in the same position as you. They don't really have time to go to shows and they can't do anything but work, and they still want to write music, but there are tools. Like,
Yep. It's there.
It's there. If you want
It's
it,
hard.
you can get it.
It's hard to do.
Of course, but
And let me tell you
nothing-
why everybody can relate to this story, right? And it's so hard to get out, and that's why so few people do get out of it. Right? The reason why everybody can relate to this is
Right.
because it's harder to do. The other thing is what's hard to do. Getting into this rut is easy. Getting out is the hard part.
Yeah. It's true.
So, yes, it's going to be hard. Yes, you're going to struggle all the time. Sucks.
But hey, Alan, we're all in this together, man.
We're rooting for you, brother.
Yeah, we're rooting for you. We know what it's like, and you'll get out of this. If you want to get out of it, you're going to get out of it.
I think you will, for sure.
I think you will, too. I think you've got it. Well, with that being said, Naveen, you want to wrap up this episode?
Let's wrap it up. And
what's a song you want people to check out this week?
A song?
Yeah.
Check out well, we're talking about Frank Zappa. They should check out some Zappa.
Damn. Yeah.
Check out the Black Page. If you haven't heard the Black Page, part 1 or 2, then your life has not begun yet.
Also, Inca Roads. That's my personal favorite Frank Zappa song.
Chaney loves her some Inca Roads.
I could listen to that song and watch people play it live over and over and over for hours. So
it's a good time. But yeah, I mean,
what's up?
Maybe. I mean, dude, YouTube, you can watch like all kinds of these concerts. Go check out a fucking
so
Zappa
cool.
concert.
It's like, just get yourself a fucking 54-inch TV. You're at a show. Boom.
I mean, when I watched that Zappa show the other day, I was fired up.
Dude, me too. I was fired up to make a music video specifically. Have a good day and night, you guys.
All right, we love you guys.
Love you. See some of you at NAMM, I hope.
Fuck yeah.
Say hey.